When you start a new job, there's this quiet pressure to prove yourself right away, to work harder, to say yes more often, and to prove that you deserve to be there. The first 6 months isn't about proving yourself. They're about setting the foundation for a better experience and building a stronger reputation for long term. In this video, I'm breaking down the exact things that I did within the first 3 to 6 months of my new job to build that foundation without overcompensating or putting a ton of pressure on myself. So within the first 3 months that you show up at a new job, you are not expected to learn everything right away and to be absolutely perfect at your job. In the first 3 months, you want to learn how the job works at a high level. You will want to fully understand your role and the why behind it. Understand the company culture and how the team operates. You also want to use this time to observe who's who, team dynamics, who's the unofficial leader, and any informal workflows or processes that the team has. So this is really the foundation phase where you want to absorb everything, you want to ask questions, and you don't want to pressure yourself to perform at 100% yet. You just kind of want to get your foot in the door, your feet tipping into water, and kind of see what is going on. So the next thing is you want to set up introductory meetings with everybody. So you want to schedule a 15 to 30 minute chat with your team, your department, and yes, even the managers. So if it's virtual, set up a Teams meeting or a Zoom meeting, and if it's in person and you feel comfortable, why not set 30 minutes aside to go get coffee or tea? So in these meetings, you want to learn about your colleagues' role, their background, their work style, and their expertise. You also want to share a bit about yourself professionally and personally. And this is so that way you start building networking and start building working relationships with everybody from day one. This will also help you figure out who's a subject matter expert in what, so that way in the future, when you can't answer a question, you should be able to know who can and who can help you. Maybe somebody is where you want to be and you will have an opportunity to shadow them or pick their brain or ask them questions. This is something that I've never done before in any of my positions, and this was a requirement of my last job, and I absolutely loved it. Going into it, I just wrote a quick itinerary, and the one question that I asked everybody at the end of the call was what was their favorite thing about working on the team. And this was a great way for me to gauge the environment and the cultural fit. Because if someone is making something up and just trying to sugarcoat maybe a bad culture or a toxic environment, that's something that you can typically tell based on their body language. Again, it's also a great way to build rapport with everyone you work with. I just found this to be really helpful, and this is something that I'm going to keep doing in every role moving forward. The next thing that you want to do is to take notes on everything. I am serious. Literally write every single thing down. Meeting notes, how-tos, random side conversations, everything. Start building your own process guide for your job if none of them exist. If later somebody says, what did we decide in that meeting? You have the receipts to answer that question, which makes you look reliable and like you got your stuff together. So this was super helpful for me coming into the job where the process and the team was fairly new and there were no process guides at all. So nothing was written down about how to do the job, the steps. And as soon as I started learning, I started taking notes. And now everything that I wrote down from the beginning is a full process guide that the entire team uses, that we use to onboard, and it is the source of truth for how to do the job. So that way you can reduce errors, everybody's on the same page, and if it needs updated or you think that the process could be better, then you already have a current state idea of what it looks like to improve it in the future if you need to. Be a team player and be easy to work with. So this is underrated, but it's huge. Do your share of the work, show up on time, follow through on the items that you commit to, communicate effectively, be clear, be concise. Don't be afraid to ask for clarity or questions. Express gratitude, say thank you. Don't be afraid to jump on a call if things are getting misunderstood through email and IMs. Celebrate other people's wins and your own. Be kind, approachable, and positive. And I know all these things sound very obvious, but you would be surprised how many people come into a position without basic emotional intelligence or conversation skills. Being someone that people want to work with sets you apart, and it's going to make your job so much easier, especially if you're looking to get support or get assistance or grow in the future. Typically, at the end of every project, I try to send an email saying, hey, this project's completed. I just wanted to take a moment and thank you for all your assistance and for collaborating to get this completed. Because one, I truly appreciate all their help because it does take collaboration to do my job, but also because I want to be known as someone that's kind, be known as someone that's easy to work with. And I want to make other people feel like the work that they put into doing a project with me was worth it, because I'm showing gratitude for the fact that they did it. Create a daily workflow that works for you. So at the end of each day, you want to write down tomorrow's to-do list. And then as I go throughout my day, I keep a list of everything that I completed. Keeping track of everything that I worked on helps me stay organized, helps me stay motivated, and it makes sending my weekly wins and my progress to my manager at the end of the week even easier. It's also important that you understand when you have the most energy. So for me, that's in the mornings. I typically start at 9 o'clock and then I go till noon or 12:30 for lunch. And I know that that is when I need to do the most detailed work, the hardest work, whatever task or project that requires the most effort, the most energy. That's that time frame. I will try to avoid any meetings during that time if possible. I won't check my email. I will put Microsoft Teams to do not disturb, because if I know when my energy is and when I prefer to work and I have autonomy over that, then I'm going to be able to focus and have a really good output. So figuring out how you like to work, what your energy levels are, the easiest way to get the highest quality outputs of your work, and then put that into place as soon as you start a new job. You want to work loudly. Nobody is going to know or care how hard you work, how much energy you put into it, unless you talk about it. And yeah, it might feel cringy to do this, but this is how you're going to be that person that gets raises, that gets promotion, and builds a reputation of getting your stuff done and getting it done well at work. Even if you don't like your job and you don't care about climbing the corporate ladder, I still recommend doing this anyway. If you're not willing to speak up for yourself and advocate for yourself and make how hard you work known, then you have no right to complain about the output you're getting from your job or the fact that you're not getting raises or promotions or not getting recognized. The next thing that you're going to want to do is to take initiative. Don't wait to be told to jump in. If you were trained on something once or twice and you feel comfortable doing it, then just go ahead and do it. Volunteer for small projects that you think are interesting. Proactively offer support to your team because it shows confidence, it shows commitment, and shows that you're ready to grow and ready to be a team player. Don't wait for anybody to permit you to do something. If there's something that you see that you think, oh, that's interesting, I want to learn that, take the steps to start learning it. Block out your schedule, enroll into the course. Don't wait around for someone to hold your hand and tell you that, yes, you can go ahead and do that. You want to share fresh ideas. Being new is a superpower because you see things differently, because you're not completely invested in this role, and because you have been sitting here and doing this forever. You're coming in with a fresh look, a fresh pair of eyes. So you might see something that is either a problem that could be done better, that no one else has realized because they just have so much time and emotional investment and mental load and work into this that they just can't see it from their perspective. So don't be afraid to suggest improvements. Even if your idea doesn't land right away, you might be able to come back to it later. Your perspective is valuable even if you don't have the seniority yet. Lastly, you're going to want to set boundaries. So from day one, you want to protect your time. Block your calendar for deep work and lunch. Turn off notifications like Teams or Zoom or your email so you can focus. Don't be be afraid to take breaks. This is something that I was afraid of at the beginning of my job, and I even talked about this in my work life diary series. I was just afraid to walk away for 10 minutes to take a break because somewhere in my head I thought that if I walked away and was unavailable for 10 minutes on Teams, that meant that I wasn't doing my job, which is ridiculous. Taking breaks allows you to be more productive. So now I use the Pomodoro method, and that's really helped me to stay energized throughout the day by allowing myself breaks. If you can, I highly recommend choosing a start time that works for you. That was a big thing for me going into this because I was nervous that I would have to start at a time that didn't work for me. So some people might want to start at 7 a.m. because they just want to go right into work and get it over with. Other people like me might want to start later because they like to have the morning to themselves. I highly recommend advocating for that. If you didn't do it in the interview, which you probably should have, and that's something that I'm going to do moving forward, you want to start asking those questions and set up that expectation from day one. Also, don't stay late just because you feel like you should. No one is going to go into the grave getting an award because they stayed later at their job for no reason when they didn't need to, just to try to prove that they can keep their head down and work all day long. Don't do it. Don't stay later. Clock in at your start time, clock out at your end time, go home and live your life. When you do these things in your first 90 days, you're not just adjusting to a new job, you're building a reputation on purpose. That reputation becomes credibility, and credibility becomes influence. People trust you, they listen to you when you speak, and you're able to make your job easier and improve how things work. That's what makes work feel more sustainable long term. So I'm curious, what is one thing that you wish that you had done differently in your first few months at one of your new jobs? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, I recommend watching How to Romanticize Your 9-to-5 next so you can get more tips on how to make work more enjoyable.